Light it up!
Spread the word.
That's crazy.
Are you guys seeing this?
If you weren't so crazy, I think you were insane.
Suicide Squad Extended Cut. Own the digital HD or Blu-ray.
My name is Eddie Wall. I've been a professional snowboarder for close to 15 years, just recently retired. My career was really based on filming video parts, competing in the X Games, things like that, and definitely a lot of that includes doing some pretty scary tricks. When you first start out, if you hit a 5-foot jump and then a 10-foot jump, when you come off the end of it, you feel really great. But when you hit that 5-foot jump 10 times, that feeling starts to go away, so you have to step it up. And so eventually when you get to a professional level, in order to get that feeling of overcoming something, you have to do something that's completely crazy, you know? One of the scariest things on a snowboard that I've done was jumping with Ken Block, the rally car racer. The way this came about was we were sessioning the bottom jump at Snow Park, New Zealand, and Ken Block was driving his rally car around on the hill. And then he just came up to me and said, "Hey Eddie, I think I can hit this jump with my car." I was like, "That's awesome, you should do that." It was my idea, I guess. I was like, "Oh Ken, you know what would be cool is if you followed me off the jump." And then we realized if I fell, he would legitimately land on top of me or run me over. So then I came up with the brilliant, or maybe dumb idea, to be riding down the hill and take off only 3 feet away from his driver's side door. It was all happening very quickly. It was early in the morning. We needed to do it while the snow was still hard. And so Ken pulled up to the top and we realized he had to drop in a bit before me, and then I dropped in and kind of caught up to him, and then we ended up taking off at the exact same time. I think the weirdest part, number one, was taking off of a jump and then in midair when you're 20 feet off the ground going 70 feet, I'm spinning and then I'm seeing a Subaru flying through the air right next to me. I'm like, oh my God, there's a Subaru in the air. And then the one thing that I never thought about is when I landed, the noise of the car. I mean, think about a car literally dropping out of the sky, 8 feet away from you, like boom! And that scared me. I don't know if you can tell in the footage, but when I land, he lands right at the same time, and I was like, oh my gosh. And that was a very, very amazing thing to ride away from. Throughout my career, it never crossed my mind doing really dangerous stuff because I was just so driven, and the only thing I was thinking about was snowboarding and doing the next biggest trick. When I met my wife at the time, 10 years ago, it actually did start to affect me in the sense that when I was in the backcountry really far away or in some other country hitting some handrails, I would start thinking of what if something really bad happened right now? How is she gonna take this? And it definitely changed my kind of outlook and mentality a little bit. But at the end of the day, it was also like, we're taking very calculated risks. We are professionals, so everything is gone over very, very well, like with a meticulous comb, and we try to, smooth out any kinks that could happen. I think maybe all athletes have different motivation. I know for some it is money. The bigger the trick, the bigger the paychecks that can roll in. For me, it was always about just getting respect from my peers and just proving that I could do tricks that nobody else would do or nobody else would try. And to me, that was the biggest, gain that I would get from it. It's interesting because in action sports, there's always the question of how much farther can we go? How much farther can we take this? And it's funny because every year everyone says, oh, we can't go any bigger, we can't do any more gnarly tricks. But I mean, they've been saying that since the 90s. And it does keep getting gnarlier and crazier and gnarlier. And in 2016, it really is getting to the point to where I feel like now that where can it go from here? Because eventually it ends up in, life-threatening situations, people dying, people getting severely injured where it's going to affect the rest of their lives. And that's where I think the line is going to start to get drawn. And then, you know, people are just going to have to start thinking outside of the box and start getting more creative.